Is it safe to say that they just learned the word triggered? Is it safe to assume they just learned what the word triggered meant? Why do we have to hear triggered over and over this episode? Lord have mercy. Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. I am TammyTalks. Let's talk Ladies Who List, episode 1, season 3, Triggered. So the episode picks right back up where we left off, where the shit show of an argument that was going on with Robin trying to pitch her idea for them to come together and make a mega black female empowered real estate firm, right? Or brokerage. So Tiana is telling Crystal, stop calling Robin triggered. Stop saying she's triggered. Stop telling her she's triggered. Robin doesn't understand why she has to stop doing what she's doing, because Robin feels that she is diffusing the situation. Robin is not diffusing the situation. I'm sorry, Crystal is not diffusing the situation. Crystal is making the situation worse by constantly telling Robin, you're triggered, you're triggered, you're triggered. Girl, we get it. She's pissed. We get it. So Tiana gets into it. Tiana gets into it with Crystal because Crystal feels that because Tiana does not know Robin, she doesn't get to speak on what's going on. Whereas Tiana has the common sense and the wherewithal to say, you don't like you calling her triggered, you pointing out that she's triggered, you're making everything worse. And they kind of use the example of when somebody is pissed, you don't tell them, oh, so you mad now, huh? So you mad now? You big mad, huh? That irritates people. That makes it worse. I don't understand. I have never in my life thought to tell somebody that is going off in an argument, that is going off in a rant or a fit of rage or whatever, oh, you're triggered. Why would that be the thing that you tell somebody? I just thought that was asinine to do. So Tiana says that she is just trying to help, and Crystal was like upset. So then Tiana was like, well, girl, how are you friends with her? And she tells Crystal, girl, you got an issue too. And I kind of agree with that. Now, Tiana and Crystal went to high school together. They have pointed out before. But I guess I'm just dumbfounded at Crystal really feeling like she was there and she was honestly diffusing the situation. You know what I mean? Because for one, if you were truly diffusing the situation, you would have been telling everyone around, quit, don't do that to her. Like, she going off, you know what I mean? But instead, you were like flat out telling Robin she was in the wrong. And that's why I said that Crystal was the real villain of the argument. It wasn't Robin. So Tiana leaves because she said she ain't got to sit around with this bullshit, and I don't blame her, because I'm trying to tell you something. And I think what a lot of people kind of fail to realize is just because Robin is your best friend, that doesn't mean that you are completely 100% right in the situation, because you're handling it wrong. When it gets down to it, you're handling the situation wrong. So Crystal was like, well, we were just bantering back and forth. Girl, y'all were not bantering. That's not bantering. I'm sorry. I don't know if Crystal just learned banter and she doesn't know what trigger means. Vice versa. Or she just learned trigger and she doesn't know what banter means. Nonetheless, Crystal does not know what some of these words mean that she keeps saying. So Tiffany leaves with Tiana, and then we find out that Kira has her shoes off. And they're like, why are your shoes off? And Kira said, because just in case Robin tried to come and sneak her. Kiana said, we are ladies. We are not about to fight like that. And I'm like, Robin doesn't strike me as somebody that would try to sneak hit you. She just doesn't. If she would have tried that, I would have been like overly shocked. Robin seemed like the type that'll bust you in your shit right in front of you. Like, she doesn't give me, I'm going to sneak dish you type vibes. So Kira's still mad that she was unfollowed. Now, look, I understand that Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that right now trumps all. Unfollowing somebody on Instagram, yeah, it hurts people. I have unfollowed people on Instagram before, and I have been approached about it, or they'll casually mention and stuff like that. So, like, I get it. When you are trying to hurt somebody, when you are trying to show that you're not effing with somebody, you do unfollow them. That's just what people do. But I feel like Kira kind of has to let that hurt go. If y'all aren't friends, y'all aren't like co-workers, y'all don't kick it, why do you care if she unfollows you? How did you even know that she unfollowed you? More importantly, I never know if someone is unfollowing me. I would have never known if somebody unfollowed me. Just want to point that out. So Crystal then goes on to say that because of Robin's upbringing, with her kind of having to fend for herself at a younger age, she's always in fight mode. And then again, it's like, Crystal, why are you telling Robin's business right now? Did everybody else know that about Robin? I just kind of feel like Crystal, I don't want to say she doesn't know how to be a friend, but I think Crystal looks at friendship very, very differently than Robin does. And I feel like they might need to talk about what friendship means to them. And I say that because we see these scenes where Crystal is talking about as her best friend, and she kind of feels that gives her the authority to like talk on her behalf and say things. But then Robin will turn it and flip it and be like, I wouldn't do that. So there's some kind of disconnect. I don't feel like I trust Crystal. Something about Crystal ain't right, y'all. So then Kiana said that she's respectfully, if you cannot control your emotions, you are not able to control your business. And I agree with that. I do think that Robin was triggered. I do think that Robin overreacted. I do think that Robin came in with a certain level of anxiety, a certain twinge of this is not going to work, so I got to be on guard about stuff. And I think by Robin going into the situation like that, I think that's what kind of made it. I think that's Robin came in with like heightened emotions, right? Because she already said that she had anxiety about coming in. And I think she let her anxiety get the best of her. And as a result of that, she was more on edge. And so as soon as, stuff starting to go slightly to the left, Robin took that and it created a clusterfuck. And she probably felt that Crystal, she's calling herself your best friend. She felt that Crystal was going to have her back and Crystal didn't. So then Crystal started crying. I'm like, the fuck are you crying for? What are you crying for, Crystal? You are a large part and you are mainly at fault for why this escalated the way that it did. But all right, girl. So the next day we see Robin went to yoga. She's angry. She's upset. She's hurt. She felt that she was attacked last night. Not only was she attacked, but she felt like Crystal didn't have her back. And if roles were reversed, it would not have gone down the way that it did. If the roles were reversed, Crystal would have never found herself with everyone against her and then Robin kind of coming at her for how she's reacting. And I mean, we don't know these ladies enough to say that, but that kind of sucks. You know what I mean? I feel like that would really suck if you are in a situation where you're expecting your friend to have your back on something and they end up kind of flipping it around on you. I would feel a way about that too. So she said that because of her past, it is hard for her to trust women. She doesn't see women as a safe zone. We know that Robin has some issues she doesn't play well in the sandbox, but we know that Robin has trust issues with women, and it seems like Robin probably has trust issues with a lot of people. So we see Kiana is telling her husband, and they're having a good kiki about it with her telling her husband that, Kira got into it with Robin. Robin wants to do this. But what Kiana has said consistently is she does want to sit down with Robin and hash this out. She wants to find out, like, why were you trying to pump all this money out of me? Why were you trying to do this? Why do you want us to work together now when I tried to work with you, last year and you tried to, whack me for it and try to get some money out of it. Kiana thinks it's a great idea. It is a great idea, but it's going to come down to if we can't resolve the past issues we have, why would I go into business with you and move forward? And I think that's something that Robin is not taking into account. Just because you, Robin, are past what happened with you and Kiana, it doesn't mean that Kiana should just be okay with it. And I think a lot of times that's where the disconnect always happens with people. One person is over something and they feel that because they're over it, that the other people involved should be over it too. And that's just not how this is working with Kiana. So we see Tiffany and Tiana go furniture shopping. And Tiana feels that Crystal was the catalyst for how the argument went. So it should be a general consensus that Crystal, you played a big part of that. So she thinks that Crystal should have been trying to diffuse the situation because you were Robin's ally there. So why were you making this hard for her? You know what I mean? Why were you making this hard for her? Why were you turning this into a situation that wasn't the best for her? Sorry, y'all. I got this new mic on, and I don't know if I like it, but okay. So why were you making this a heightened situation? So Tiffany, however, feels that she wants to reach out to Robin because, Tiffany has been very open about her mental health issues herself. And she said that she was genuinely concerned for her when she went home. She was hoping that isn't, when someone is suffering from mental illness to that effect, and all it takes is a split-second moment for them to make an irrational decision. And so Tiffany was just saying how she hopes that Robin didn't have one of those split-second moments. She was hoping that argument didn't push her deeper and deeper into whatever mental issues she was having at that point. So she says she's going to reach out to her just to let her know that she has an ally, she has a friend, that she empathizes with her about the situation. And Tiana thinks that would be good since Crystal didn't do it. So we see Crystal is at therapy and she wants to focus on her friendship with Robin. She told her therapist that you've never heard Robin's name because there's never been an issue with us that I would need to bring up in therapy for. So she tells the therapist that Robin was being attacked, and she thought she was helping. She did everything that she could to help out the situation. And I don't know how to read Crystal, because you couldn't have possibly thought that you were doing everything you could to help out the situation. I refuse to believe that, to be real. I refuse to believe that. So she said that now she's starting to wonder if by her saying she was triggered was actually triggering her more. Why couldn't you figure that out in the moment when you're telling her she's triggered and she's screaming at you to stop saying it? That's what I don't get about that. If she is telling you, stop saying that, and you keep saying it, yeah, you were getting her hyped up for whatever reason. But I told y'all, I feel like Crystal was sabotaging this meeting for whatever reason because she low-key don't want it to work. So she then tells her therapist how she's hurt that Robin is in a place that she can't help her right now. She doesn't know how to help her. And then she talks about Robin hitting her hand and how, now they have to establish some boundaries, because what we're not going to establish is a relationship where you feel it's okay for you to put your hands on me, where you feel it's okay for you to physically reach out and touch me. So Crystal was emotional, and I'm just a lot of this could have been avoided, Crystal, but you made this what it was. I'm sorry, but Crystal hyped up the situation, and Crystal made this worse than it had to be. So we see Kira showing B. Simone a different condo. B. Simone likes it. The kitchen is kind of too dark. She doesn't like how guests would have to walk through the bedroom to get to the bathroom. She doesn't like, she thinks she needs more space. Kira reminds her that you have to think about the resale value. So you can't go into something looking solely, especially like a condo or an apartment that you might resell, but you can't go into that under the guise of, I want this is specifically how I want it. You have to think about what the person coming in after you is going to want as well. And that's a good point, because I feel like, B. Simone, girl, do you really have that much stuff that you can't fit it in them condos? All right. So Tiffany and Robin sit down and meet. Robin says she's excited to meet her because it would be nice to have, and she says it would be nice to have an anxiety friend who can understand what she is going through. And I'm sure that does help, tremendously. So Robin feels that she was getting attacked. Tiffany agrees. And then Tiffany very delicately and very respectfully mentions how Robin mentioned that she had some mental instability at the time. Robin says she is not afraid to say it. She's not embarrassed to say it anymore. She does have something that she's going through. And Robin said that, Tiffany said that from the moment she heard Robin say that, she immediately wanted to throw her some grace. And that's true. I feel like so many times nowadays people use mental illness as an excuse, but you can't always just assume people are overreacting with that too. So if somebody mentions that they're having a mental, incapacity at some point, or, they're suffering from something, you have to give them the grace to kind of be able to reset themselves and get their thoughts out. And that's what Crystal was missing. While Robin clearly has something going on up there, give her the chance to get her thoughts out and articulate what she's trying to say and get it out, because Robin was being attacked. She was getting it from Kiana. She's getting it from Kira. And then here you come, Crystal, making it worse. So Robin said that she now feels a way about Crystal because for Tiffany to not know her and to right away, give her that grace and that compassion and want to be there for her, it's kind of wondering, like, you're supposed to be my best friend, but you're not able to meet me at that point. So then she just kind of wonders if Crystal knows how to be her friend. They talk about the fact that Crystal kept saying she was triggered, and Robin took that as mocking, kind of as a ha, you're triggered type of situation. Now, I don't think that Crystal was doing that, but I can see why Robin would feel that way. So Tiffany said that she wants to connect her with her therapist because she talked about having this constant anxiety and fear and panic where she was scared to leave the house. So, her husband had to quit his job and stay home and help her and all this other type of stuff because she just had this unexplainable panic that she thought that something was going to get her. She was going to die if she left the house, etc. So Robin acknowledges that they're able to form some type of bond. So I hope that they're able to kind of like form a friendship where, they can be there to help each other mentally, or if Robin is struggling at any given day or any given moment, that she can shoot her a text and Tiffany can respond back and they can, be like a support system for each other. So then the final scene is Robin and Kiana. So Kiana says she came there with every intention to mention the issue of Robin trying to charge over them contracts, and then she was going to let it go so they can table it and talk about it at another moment. She wanted Robin to remember that. She wanted Robin to know that I remember, even if you don't. But she said that she felt like Robin was being dismissive about the situation, which she was. Robin said she wasn't being defensive. She was just caught off guard. And then Robin said that she was apologizing profusely, and Kiana was discounting her apology. Kiana said, well, it didn't seem sincere. And this is where it gets interesting, because Robin said, don't judge my apology, because if I'm telling you I'm sorry, it takes a lot for me to apologize to people, you should own that. But what that is interesting to me, because we saw Crystal apologizing to Kiana an episode or two ago, and apologizing to Robin, and Robin gave her hell about how it wasn't a real apology. It didn't seem sincere, but it's the same type of apology that she gave Kiana. So, because remember, Robin and Crystal, when they were in the park, Crystal told her, I'm sorry if you felt that way, or if I made you feel a certain way. Robin told her that that's not a true apology. Kiana said that Robin told her, okay, so I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings, then I hurt your feelings. I'm sorry, but that's still kind of the same thing. That is still kind of the same thing. So my thing is like Robin's a bit of a hypocrite. I feel like Robin is just somebody that she has a very strong personality. She has a very fight or flight personality that always chooses fight. And until Robin is able to get her emotions in check, she is always going to have these different situations with people because it seems like it's very hard for her to point out, to, admit fault without trying to redirect it and re-steer it back around to the other person. So Robin then said that, well, Q, you were being a certain way, you still shook the table. And it's like, no, you gotta understand what she's saying. I feel like if Robin would have been like, you know what, Kiana, that was fucked up of me to try to charge you for that. I'm sorry. That's literally all it had to do. And like Kiana said, she could have said, I'm sorry, let's talk about this at another time. Robin was on some, well, if I hurt your feelings, I can't do anything about it now. That's the type of energy she was on, and it was fucked up. It was. But I am TammyTalks. This has been Ladies Who List, Season 1, Episode 3, Triggered. Everybody's damn triggered. If you're brand new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, hop in the comment section. Catch you guys in the next one.